2018 was basically a year for me finding myself again and wanting to get in the best shape I could. And it was the first time in so long that I actually focused on myself. You give so much to so many people and you realize like maybe your health's not in the best place or your mentor and everything. So kind of taking that break to focus on dropping the weight that I did and mentally getting myself back to a position that I wanted to get in. It took a lot of time and, it was kind of a relief. And, I dropped around like 70 pounds. I felt the best I could. And mentally, I'm still talking to my friends, still helping out with creatives if people called me and everything, just talking to them personally. But it was the first time I hadn't been with a company for a year. So it was kind of weird. And then, we get to December and it's December 11th, 2018 is, I'll never forget it. Woke up early in the morning and long story short, lost my home to a fire. One of the craziest things you can ever go through, and I don't wish it on anybody. Everything just moves so fast. I'm knocking on different people's units to get them out of their apartments because I'm just thinking like we got to get as many people out as possible. And I remember how scared my dog was, and we barely was able to get him out. And after a couple hours, you go back and you see the wreckage of everything, and you realize that you got to start all over. And that was the first of some really hard events to go into 2019. 3 weeks later, I lost my stepdad, and that took a toll on myself and my family. I still think about him every day, and even 3 weeks after that, my dog got really sick. He's still with us, but to have so much back to back, it really put me in a different mind state, and it really it hits you, and it lets you realize the value of life. It lets you know that at any time something can happen, and you got to learn so much. Having to basically move your whole life in a day and a half, that's not normal. And realizing that someone you had in your life for 17, 18 years is no longer there and everything, it was hard. 2019, which I thought would be one of the best years, was hands down the hardest year of my life.
Not talking Russell Simmons, but when I make Def Jams, they'll never listen. I can teach it for tuition, show the principles of knowledge, but ignorance on suspension. But for those who think it's bliss, I offer sympathy. Why should we stand divided like the world's symmetry? We should stand together and spread the wealth of the intellect, or else we could be broken, unable to clear checks, and have them bouncing more than rubber or paying variance fines. But I pray the pennies for thoughts will always change minds, and some bright people can see the future with a small glance. I'm like a thief of fate, then I'll always take the chance. Let's go.
A man can't live by bread alone. And you came on and taught me that no.
There's so many people that were there for me that helped me out. I'll never forget like Leva Bates and Seth. They did a Twitch fund for us that lost everything, and they raised like $500. I remember my friend Frank sent us like kitchenware, and I had my friend Ronald. He paid out of nowhere to get us movers, and people like Kelly Klein and my friend Brian and Valence and Dwayne. All these people, they came and helped us move, or gave us boxes of totes. Nui Tofiga helped. Greg Excellent was there. There was so many people that out of nowhere, was there, just getting phone calls from like Nikki Cross, or having Rhea O'Reilly send me a card from, the UK, and hearing from Daphne, and so many people to make sure that in so many hard times, you still could try your best to keep your chin up and go forward. And this is what dedicated me to where I'm at now, to be so focused on giving a better life to my family. That's always been the number one priority, but now it feels like it's 100% a must. And I work so damn hard with everything in 2019 to make these goals come true. And even in those times when you want to give up, I have good people that are in my circle that let me know, like, you can't give up. And when you come home to basically nothing and you want to make that nothing something, that's going to be the drive that's going to make you the best version of you. And with tragedy comes triumph. And that was a big lesson that I've learned in this year of 2019.
He asked me to film the free verse that he did after the house was pretty much, you know, in the process of being somehow recuperated. I don't even know if that, but when he asked me to film that free verse for him in the house, I just looked around and my heart sank to my stomach. And I just couldn't believe anything that happened. And I was, like I said, again, I was just so glad that he was okay, because it devastated me. Like, I lived there because I've known him, his mom, and everything since I was a kid, kinda. Like, I was still a teenager when I met him. So, like, you know what I'm saying? I was proud to actually be a part of that moment, because I believe he said that even that was one of his deepest, like, verses that he put together. And I don't even know if y'all can tell, but I had to film it. My hands was kind of shaking. So, because I was just like in a ball of emotion as he was going through it line for line. Thank God he's good, man.
Yo, this is Tales from Bliz, chapter 12. We're going to do something different today. It's not going to be about any of the wrestlers or anything. It's going to be the tale of triumph. As you can see, I'm standing in the home that I just recently lost in a fire. So, you know, we got to triumph in these type of things.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
It's like this. No time to waste, gotta do whatever it takes. Every second's crucial with decisions to make. Adrenaline over fear, the mind starts to race. The only thought is, get as many out of this place. You can't concentrate, and the smoke gets thick. The smell, now that's something that I'll never forget. I'm jumping out steps, I'm knocking on everyone's door, making sure everyone's all for all 3 floors. In the end, I lost my home and that reality bites, but I celebrate that no one had to lose their life. This won't hold me down, I'ma continue to fight. Keep grinding to ensure the future is bright. I thank everyone that helped out as best they could, and the ones that reached out to make sure I was good. Nothing but love, and thank y'all for keeping me calm. It's time to rebuild, so thank y'all for keeping me strong.
Facts.
That was Tales from Bliz, chapter 12, the tale of triumph. Always trust the process. Keep your dream alive. A happy new year. A lot that I learned in 2019 is, I had a lot of people that you got to see who your friends are, who cares about you, and who will be there and who won't. And when you go through tragic events, that's when you really get to see things. Hey, look, all year, and we're at the end of 2019 now, all year I didn't have a bed. I wasn't sleeping on a bed, and I didn't have a bed. You learn a lot about insurance and everything, but I wanted to, make sure that if my dog had surgery, I would have money for that. And, once again, sacrificing, for someone or something else. And it would be nights like if it was a storm or windy outside, I would just take like 3 dining room chairs, get some sheets and lay on that, and just had the dog laying beside me just so, he wouldn't be scared. And it was a lot that I had to go through, but, it's a lot that gives you appreciation of, hey, you still got a roof over your head, and you still have life, because anything could have happened in these tragic moments.
Blake's my friend of 20 years at this point. You know, we've been through thick and thin and saw a lot of things and experienced a lot of things together. So when it happened, it was pretty devastating to me. I tried to, you know, I'd recently lost my dad, so I understood what it was to lose somebody, you know, especially under weird circumstances. My dad didn't die of natural causes. You know, his stepdad didn't die of natural causes, so I definitely was there with him. I guess the first thing that I tried to do was try to find the best way to console him, which was, you know, telling somebody you understand is not really something that works. All you can really do is say you're there for them, and whatever you can do, you can do. So I tried the best that I could. I helped him with a couple of things that are between he and I, and you know, I just saw to it that I could contribute as much as I could as a friend, because I felt him. It was pretty devastating. I love Mr. Larry. So
The day after my stepdad died, I got a message from a company, and they were asking me if, you know, I wanted to be a part of something they were doing. And, you know, my mind is all over the place, and I was making sure it was really the person that was messaging me, and it was. And I just remember going to the viewing, and, you know, everybody's hearts are heavy. And I remember I told my mom about it, and I told my family about it, and my mom had told my family everything that was going on, because I didn't really want to talk to a lot of people about it. And they all were so supportive, and they was just like, this is what your stepdad would have wanted. This is what you worked hard for. And they were willing to help pay for the flight, because it was so last minute and everything. And I just remember sending a message back and saying, like, I'd love to do it. And, you know, I was just going to have to buy a flight and everything like that. And, you know, it ended up not working out, because they thought that I'd already lived in the state. And they didn't realize that I didn't live in the state. But my biggest motivation to that was, I'm going to find a way to get back there and show what I can do. And that's one of the things that always keeps me going, and one of the things that keeps me motivated to show that all of this is going to be worth it in the long run.
Everything that he's gone through, something that would devastate anyone else, to the point of just giving up, still pushing through. That's something that we can all aspire to.
You go through a lot of downs when you have tragedy happen, but the first time I really felt myself again and felt myself smile again was I was the male of honor at one of my best friend's weddings, Chrissy Rivera, and everything leading to that just put me in a happy place. You know, the weddings at Disney World, you get to see a lot of people. It was just the first time I got to feel happy again after everything. And, you know, my guest was Leva Bates, and Mia Yim. She surprised us and came. And, you know, just sitting at that table, it made you feel like you were with your friends. You're not just with acquaintances or guys that you've met in wrestling and all that. It was just a table full of friendship, you know. And that was the real first time I got to really tell myself that everything's going to be okay. And it was something, especially at that time, that I needed. And I'm very, very blessed to have those people in my life.